Okay, so we're live. I always say that. That's the first thing I say. My name is Brian, and this is a continuation of my AKUMU mode playthrough. This is part 7. The parts I'm dividing it into, they're not really pre-planned. I never know how long I'm going to take in a situation. It depends. For instance, this is the second part. This is about halfway through chapter 6. In which case, when I started this, I really didn't know if chapter 6 potentially could have been divided into 4 parts. I honestly, with the beginning of it, with the 2 rooms, I wound up spending about an hour and 20 minutes or to get through those 2 rooms and dying multiple times. But really, when I played through this my first time, that for me, that part was the really just kind of I felt just sort of beat me down. There was a point where that I felt like, I just was ready to. It was the only point during this AKUMU mode playthrough where I really considered quitting, because during that playthrough took me about 4 or 5 hours, and I died, probably 60 to 70 times, and I managed to get through it quicker this time, but in the process I blew through a lot of trap parts, considering I used a number of shock bolts, basically in cases planting them at my feet and allowing enemies to run into them, become electrocuted, and while they were on the ground, lighting them on fire. I had my flash bolts upgraded, but I didn't make use of them. It seems too much because for me, I just didn't. I mean, I know 16 seconds is a lot of time, and or wait, what is it at level 4? Maybe it's 13 seconds. It's a lot of time for them to be stunned, the enemies, but when I got to the bottom floor, I mean, I couldn't really, sometimes there'd only be 1 or 2 enemies, and if I'd stun them, then that's great that they're stunned, but then 2 or 3 more would pour down from the ceiling, and it just felt like, for me, in one instance, or 2 instances, for instance, I mean, one case, I think I died and had to go back to the top room, but it might have been at the time I got through finally, as well. I mean, at one point I remember putting 1 bolt in front of me, and 1 or 2 enemies hit the shock bolt, and then another 1 or 2 would hit them, and they'd get electrocuted. I think I wound up burning 4 or 5 enemies with 1 match, which really saves a lot, but still, I considering it's 4 parts to make those shock bolts, I mean, I started chapter 6 with about 29 parts, and I came out of that room and had 2 parts left, I think, and really, I've been playing this game very carefully and trying to conserve ammo and get through situations with, with as much stealth as possible, and trying not to blow a lot of ammo, and typically I did that, especially in chapter 2 and 3, and I've collected a lot of trap parts and green gel in the process in preparation for really the chapter 5 and chapter 6, maybe the one section in chapter 4, but it seems like I blew a lot of my parts just on the beginning section of chapter 6. Now, I got back 8 parts because I decided that I disarmed some of the motion sensor bombs, in which, I felt like I needed to do to get some parts back. But all right, looking at the screen, you can see it's on AKUMU difficulty, and it's not on, New Game Plus, which would have a clear. So I started, the game fresh. There's videos on Twitch archived starting from the very beginning. So it's taken me so far, over 13 and a half hours, and I'm in the middle of chapter 6. So I'm gonna just load this. To be quite honest, I kind of wish I had saved it, or after the 2 rooms, I'd kept my save file. I usually will keep more than one save file while I'm doing this, and usually I stress that one of the reasons I do it is because if I make any upgrades, I'll usually keep a separate save file. So in case I'm not happy with what I did and I really feel like I'm not getting by too well, I can go back and spend my green gel on something else. The problem is that after I got through the 2 rooms, which is the worst part of this chapter, and I entered the next section, when I reached the checkpoint where there were the 4 cabanas, where you have to snipe the 4 people who are shooting the bolts out, and there's waves of enemies coming out. I had difficulty trying to, and I didn't manage to do it, snipe all 4 if you can snipe all 4 of the people out of the cabanas and jump down to the checkpoint and start fighting the sadist, you don't have to deal with all the waves of enemies. You don't have to, basically what I'm saying, kill all the enemies like when you're stuck in chapter 5. In the case with Kidman when she's trapped in the tank, I mean, you pretty much have to eliminate all the enemies and they're coming from everywhere. On this mode there were about twice as many, and Joseph just seems to take... I just kept trying to, I would knock down 2 of them, and every time I would go for a 3rd one, I'd run away, and Joseph's health would just go down. I just sort of wasn't doing it quick enough, and I found a spot kind of where I managed to be able to use my handgun a few times, which I don't usually make much use of, but I was able to knock some of them off bridges, and Joseph was able to axe some of the people if I hit them a few times with my handgun. But I really blew a lot more ammo than I should have in that part, and which I really don't like. So what I'm going to do here is for the rest of this chapter, I'm really gonna try to I'm gonna try to use my handgun a little more, especially in the next section. And again, I'm not really concerned with how many times I die. I mean, for one, I feel like again, I'm not trying to make a perfect video here. I mean, and in cases where on this mode it gets really frustrating, or potentially can get frustrating, it kind of gives an idea of again, I don't consider myself an expert gamer, so it's kind of giving you or showing you just this is kind of the experience, or what it could be like playing this mode. Now I am playing this through the 2nd time, so, and I am conscious that I'm broadcasting, so I'm that kind of forces me to maintain some composure, which is kind of good, and maybe why some of the situations which otherwise maybe would have, I don't know, I imagine maybe I could have been stuck in the 2 rooms longer, and maybe just from sitting on here and talking, and there were a few people in the room that I could see, from the right hand of the screen that were viewing, and me, and uh, when I was doing it the first time, I was probably screaming at the television. And I've done that on a few parts when I played through the first time, but I don't think it was ever as bad as those 2 rooms. Now I'm just running around in circles here because I'm talking. I do want to make some upgrades. Now, obviously, I'm coming from a save file, so again, I keep 2 save files, so I'm just... Yeah, I'm not playing this game without upgrading. I have gone through this so far without having really... you could see my handgun and the shotgun. I'm sorry. I can't press... Okay. I haven't upgraded my handgun or shotgun, and I just got the rifle. It's not upgraded, nor the base of the crossbow so far during this play. I am going to probably do this now. I am low. I'm going to raise the stock of my handgun because I want to use my handgun a little more now because I've kind of drained now some of my ammo more than I'd like, and which is another reason I'm collecting all the keys. I mean, I have some shotgun shells in the locker, which is good. But so I'm gonna raise. Let me think. I'm gonna raise the damage to 2. The shotgun. No, you know what? I'm thinking ahead here. I'm gonna raise it to 3, and this. I'll start the rifle. I'm gonna want to get to 3 or 4. I want to get the fire rate up at some point, but for this particular chapter, I mean, I'm considering what's ahead, and I don't even have a lot of rifle ammo right now, and like I said, I don't particularly know if I'm going to be happy with these. I don't know if I said it, these upgrades, but now, I'll get a chance to come back to the save room. I might want to raise the explosive bolt to 4. I'm not sure. I think the shock bolt where it is probably good. Because at level 4, it's still at 6 seconds. I'm more concerned with the time than I am with the amount of spread with meters. Right now, it seems to be okay. I'm not going to bother with the flat. I really raised that initially, and I was thinking ahead. I mean, I did use it during the Kidman sequence, and I thought I would use it more during the 2 rooms, which would have saved me more parts because it's 2 parts for each bolt. But I couldn't seem to make that work out. The shock bolt seems to work better for me. This I'm gonna want to get to level 5 at some point, and I'm just trying to figure the trade-off here. You see, I figure if I'm gonna be spending a lot of green gel, you know, and raising I don't know if it's worth it to raise the damage of this or not. You know, again, this is the first time so far I've decided to even raise or upgrade any of the weapons. But I am well aware that as this progresses, that some of the enemies will get a little stronger, and I'm more concerned. The reason for raising the shotgun damage is not really I'm not anticipating taking out the shotgun and killing an enemy in 1 hit. I'm concerned that I'll have to waste more than 1 bullet trying to even knock down some of the enemies. The alter egos, I'm not really concerned about. I really usually don't even try to fire bullets at them because I know how strong they are, and but they're very slow, so I usually try to run past them, which is why for abilities I have my sprint at level 4. I don't really know if I need to raise it to level 5. I mean, that's 30,000's a lot to spend for an extra 2 seconds. It's not, but the benefit of doing that is that the recovery time is increased, and there's been times when I've been running around and I'm not paying attention to my bar, and even on level 4, and I just kind of, Sebastian just sort of stops and to take a breath. It doesn't matter what's behind him. It doesn't matter how terrible or horrifying what creature's behind him. He'll just kind of stop there and just, you know, have to take a breath. And he doesn't say that, but that's what it's like. And meanwhile, behind him, it's just... And on this mode, it's instant death. It doesn't even matter if there's a huge creature behind him. There could be, you know, just an enemy on the ground, and he just sits up and kind of waves his hand and touches Sebastian's leg, and then it's all over. So I'm really gonna want to try to use my handgun. A little more. I'm gonna raise the stock, because, you know, again, if I'm not happy with any of this, I can always load it back. But the problem is that I'm also, you know, I'm cognizant that I'm broadcasting this, and I really don't want to be sitting around loading things all the way back. Now, one of the reasons I'm raising the stock is because 3 of the lockers I've opened have handgun ammunition. Now, I don't really like taking from the locker unless I really need to, but and I'm kind of hoping that another locker I open has shotgun ammo in it, and I am aware that you can kind of, you know, you can come in here with your keys, and then I don't know if it only applies to some levels of the lockers or specific ones, but you can reload your save and come in here and open a locker with a key, and if you don't like it, you can reload it again, come back in and open it. Now, and sometimes there'll be something different in it, and really, I don't know if that's just a matter of order. I'm thinking that every locker you open, eventually it contains the same things. It's just I guess it just affects, for some people who want to get more green gel earlier on. But I don't believe that's not possible. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you can't keep reloading saves and opening up different lockers and getting green gel in every single locker. But I am wondering whether or not, for instance, seeing the 3 handgun bullets, whether, you know, I don't know, if I had reloaded at one point and opened it, whether or not there would have been more shotgun bullets instead of handgun bullets. This isn't something I've figured out, and I shouldn't really be too concerned about. But 2015. Oh well. I probably didn't have to take all of them. Now I only have 2 sniper rifles. That's okay. I'm not. I don't think for the rest of this chapter I really plan on using the rifle. The reason I'm not going to take the shotgun bullets is because, well, I'm hoping to pick up some. See, the problem is that with the stock in these lockers, I kind of wish I could choose how many bullets I would take from the stock rather than, you know, for instance, if I pick from that right now, I'm going to take all of them because I can carry 8. Like, I wish I could just grab 2 of them, you know. I could choose and grab 2 of them, and rather than grab all of them, and because the reason is because even though if I grab 6, I could still carry 2 more. I know at least before the fight with the 2 brothers, there's shotgun ammo laying on the ground, and I don't want to take from the lockers again what I could be using later, you know, when I really need it, and when I know that, you know, there's going to be ammo to pick up. But that's not going to happen until after the next sequence, which is why I've taken the handgun ammo, because I'm just going to try to do this, you know, with using my handgun mostly. I really don't... I don't want to be using my bolts. I only have 6 parts left right now, and I feel like for the boss on this board, I need some parts. Now, I've said earlier with what I'm talking about is the Sentinel, the that large dog at the end of this chapter. You know, I was thinking to myself, because I've done this before, where I don't run around a lot on this mode. There's bear traps on the ground, but I'm thinking to myself, you know, that maybe I should, I'll probably wind up, you know, because I have shock bolts. There's another save room, so I'll be able to go back to it, and I'm going to probably grab the shock bolts. And, you know, I could place them on the ground. This is what I did last time, I believe, and I've, you know, done before. I just kind of dodge the boss on this board initially, and then I just throw a lightning bolt in the ground in front of me and allow him to be electrocuted, and then start firing hello, and then I just start firing explosive bolts. But I don't really have a lot of parts. I've trained a lot. Yeah, I'm in the middle of chapter 6, and on AKUMU mode, so I mean, I got through the 2 rooms, and which really, to me, is the worst part of playing in this mode, and I blew through, yeah, I can't, when I started this chapter, I had, like, 29 trap parts, and in the 2 rooms alone, I think when I left, I only had 2 parts, because I made a bunch of shock bolts just to get out of these 2 rooms, and I would throw them on the ground in front of me and light the enemies on fire. You know, it wasn't the most, because the way that I'm playing this, I try to, with whatever situation I can.
I don't like that they used her as bait. Almost like someone's toying with us.
Like I said, this is my 2nd time playing through this, but
Hang in there.
I don't know. With that particular sequence, I don't have any. I never know. I never know what to do when I get in that situation. I just don't seem to have any, you know, wonderful advice. It just seems, you know, I'm being thrust into this situation. And it's just a matter of some of it being, you know, the circumstances being favorable, because sometimes the enemies will attack Joseph while he's at the door, and sometimes they won't. What do you mean for the Sentinel? I've heard something about that. What do you mean? The thing is that first of all, well, I just want to say first that for that sequence right there of saving Joseph, you don't need to use the sniper rifle. Those enemies that were walking with Joseph, you know, I just shot them with the handgun with 1 bullet. They'll just fall down. So, and this is on AKUMU mode. I don't know. Handgun ammo in general, you'll come across it more frequently. I mean, you'll come across less ammo and less everything on this mode, but shotgun ammo and rifle ammo is more precious, and I really don't use the handgun that often, and I usually, I remember earlier on stressing it as more as a backup weapon, but I mean, in situations where you can use it, and especially, I mean, on this chapter, for this part, what I'm going to try to do, actually, is, I'll probably die, but I kind of screwed it up already, because really what I wanted to do is, I'm aware that there's people throwing things at me, but I kind of screwed this up because I wanted to I'm really, he's gonna die. What I wanted to do is kind of stay near the plank. What didn't you know? The problem is that
Let's go.
I've blown a lot of trap parts in that one section, and what I kind of wish right now is that that guy didn't pass me. Oh. I'm trying to... The problem is here... Well, an enemy just blew up another enemy, so that's always good, but I wanted to try to keep the it seems to work out pretty well if they're gonna throw dynamite and it's going to hit the enemy and blow them up. Well, I was fine until I wasn't paying attention to my stamina bar. I'm really trying to just... No, really the first two, the pistol's not going to work. I want to try to keep them by the planks, though. And the problem is in the last section, I used a lot of ammo because I couldn't manage to get the 4 cabanas down quickly. I was doing fine myself, but it's just Joseph, like, kept getting mauled, like, every time I'd leave him alone. That happens, and that's always frustrating. I just got nicked in the foot, so... I'm just trying to maintain a level of composure because, you know, as I've heard someone say once, I mean, this whole chapter's about really losing, I guess, a grip on yourself, really. I mean, especially playing on this mode. But, having gotten through those 2 rooms and the last section, I mean, really... Let's go. This is just funny, because this is reminding me of, like, what happened in Chapter 5. Like, I get through, like, a part that, I hate, and, then I come up to a section like this, which isn't really as bad, and I'm not... I just wish I hadn't... Oh. See, I hate that I only... Well... I just wish I hadn't used my shotgun as much as I did.
Hurry, this way.
Really? Is it any good? I mean, I see the front cover of that game, and it's, you know, it says, you know, it gets all these awards and whatnot. The one thing I just...
All right. Yeah.
The one thing, I mean, I don't seem to, when I looked at the cover of the game, that game Dying Light, that I'm not too thrilled about, is that I don't really like playing in the first person, generally, in a game. I really like to be able to see the character. And maybe it's just because I'm not really used to it, but, I don't, when I'm playing a game like this, it makes me feel like I'm kind of like simultaneously watching and playing a movie. And when I watch a movie, it's kind of in the third person. The perspective itself might make a huge difference for me. So, if that game is only in first person, I mean, I might still try it, but, so I'm in this section now, and really this is kind of, in this chapter, the most relieving section there is, because there's no enemies here, at least right now, well, and there's a lot of stuff to collect. Well, a lot less in this mode, but still. Because even in that last little section right there with him opening the door, I mean, I just didn't want to use as many shotgun shells as I did.
This looks like some kind of a marketplace. It looks deserted, just like everywhere else. We ought to keep moving.
So in this particular area, there is, as I said, I'm collecting all the keys on this because it's not really being concerned about the trophy itself, although opening all the lockers will get you the trophy. It's just that, especially on this mode, the lockers have tons of green gel and extra ammo, and in this mode there's really not a lot of stuff lying around, so whatever situation I find myself in, I try to do in a way, I try to get by without using much ammo, but I've usually one of the reasons for conservation and for collecting a lot of trap parts whenever in what chapters I can and disarming bombs is for these chapters, like this one in particular. I mean, I've blown a lot of trap parts in this chapter that I've saved up earlier, and this the thing is, right, I know I'm confident because I know that I can leave this chapter with no parts and be fine, because chapter 7 you'll have a chance to disarm traps and collect more parts and come out of the chapter with 20 or 30 parts, so it's kind of about building things back up, and chapter 9 as well, and then, you know, comes chapter 10 and 11 where you'll wind up probably using a lot of that, so sometimes I get a little disoriented while I'm playing this. I mean, I sort of get lost in ridiculous places. I kind of hope I hope Silent Hill won't come out in the first person. I don't know. I get into the whole movie appeal of stuff, like I'm saying, and with rare exceptions, I mean, a lot of movies, I'm kind of viewing characters. I'm not experiencing whatever character through their eyes in the first person, with some exceptions, like I said. But I I don't know. But because Dying Light is from what you're saying, it's a horror survival game, which I'm, kind of a fan of. I mean, it's something for that reason alone worthwhile to try for me. I don't know how well or how much the perspective for me, how much of a big difference it'll make because I'm really not used to playing like that. No, I don't. I haven't played a ton of games. Usually what happens is I wind up playing one game. Like, for instance, right now, this game, and I play it, I'll play it until I platinum it. Now, I don't do that with every game, but, and one of the reasons I decided, I guess, to start broadcasting, and with this game in particular, is because, I've played 3 games, in the past few months, and this one, out of all 3, took me the longest to achieve the trophies. I mean, mainly probably because of this trophy for getting for beating this on AKUMU mode was the most difficult one for me by far, and when I add up the time, even for this and for every other trophy, I mean, I've spent about as much time or more on this game than I have on the other 2 games combined. I mean, I guess just because of that and because of playing through this, now I've played through this. This is my second time playing through on this level of difficulty. But I've played through this game. This is my 5th time playing through. So I generally have, a good sense of what's coming up ahead of me and kind of what to expect, but still on this mode, because certain things are changed and there's, extra traps, and I still kind of, in the back of my head, it was like yesterday when I was playing Chapter 5, I was really just all, not looking forward to the whole sequence with Kidman in the water tank because enemies just come at you from every direction. I mean, it's obviously not as bad as the beginning of this chapter, being stuck in those 2 rooms, because you have a lot more space to run around. But the first checkpoint for me was just problematic, and really it was because half of the time it was because I died, and half of the time it was because it was Joseph dying and I was fine. And because on this mode he dies a lot easier than, and it's just odd because it was hard to kind of like gauge like what was going on, because sometimes I felt like I was doing really well keeping enemies off of him, and then he would die, and then there was times when I wasn't even near him, and he wasn't losing any health, and so it kind of felt weird. It kind of felt like, well, okay, well, the more I'm helping you out, it seems like the worse you're doing. In all honesty, yeah, oh wait, what was I about to say? This for this for this particular mode, I mean, for me, right on Chapter 5, the moment you meet up with Joseph and you see that bar on the side of the screen with his health, seems to be the start of when, at least for me, when this became extremely frustrating and very difficult. That's when I kind of, and then it sort of peaks. It peaks at the beginning of this chapter with those 2 rooms, which I find still to be at the top of my list for the worst situation. I mean, I almost feel like, and I've said it before, like it seems like if you get by that situation, you should be able to beat this on AKUMU mode. Why am I missing something here? Because there's a crawl space around here, and I'm not seeing it. There it is. Again, I'm collecting all the keys because the lockers have extra ammunition, agony bolts, and opening all the lockers in general will probably add up to about 200,000 green gel. 100,000 alone in the last locker. So, the only exception, the only key I'm not going to get is the one on chapter 10 for you have to defeat Lore in order to get it, because you actually can grab all of the keys minus one, which I've always found kind of odd in this game that they made it that way. I don't know, where you can actually miss one key and still open all the lockers, because there's two in the lockers themselves. So I'm just thinking about the level of difficulty of this and thinking, well, you know, they kind of just, okay, you can miss a key and open up all the lockers and get that trophy, and I don't know. I mean, it's good because there's no. Again, the last locker gives you 100,000 of green gel, and it's just.
Where do you suppose we are?
More like when? This architecture seems straight out of the Middle Ages.
Yeah, but there's electricity. Elevators. This place can't be real.
It's just frustrating, the whole sequence being with him. It's on this mode because he dies too quickly. It's just trying to keep his health up, and the fact that you can only get hit once, if he does have his health down and you start running towards him to try to heal him, usually if his health is going down, it means there's enemies around him. So if you're standing next to him trying to heal him, there's a good chance you're going to get killed. Joseph also does some things that I don't really understand still. When I was playing through the last section, and when I did part 6, and not the 2 rooms, but the section after it with the 4 cabanas, I would point out that there's an area where there's a tripwire, and on survival there's no tripwire. Well, I don't know if there is on survival. On casual there isn't. I always forget because I played on.
I'm counting on you.
Survival my first playthrough, and I don't remember this, but I know on this mode, and there's a tripwire underneath the building. If you go, once you get in the section, if you go to the right, I mean, you don't want to just run over there. There's enemies, but the thing is, when you go, that just bothers me always. You open the thing and you just. I'd rather open that and see nothing than see a syringe at this point. I mean, it's just totally useless. I really. I always say that. I just wish they just took the syringes out of this mode. It's just. Don't mind me. I'm breaking windows, like I said. I mean, it's not good for. It always attracts. Enemies are attracted, and their awareness is so high on this. But no enemies are gonna come out here. I really like. Maybe I just like the sound of smashing glass. I mean, that's just me. But if this were a house, or like in chapter 3, or in any other place, I kind of recommend smashing the windows if they're ones you can jump through, because if you're trying to run away from enemies and you can jump through windowsills, I mean, you don't want to have to break the window beforehand. It's just, they're so damn fast in this that, if you have to do one extra thing before jumping through the sill, I mean, you pretty much could spell death, so, I try to, like, sometimes secure an area in this to keep myself safe, to run back to if something's chasing me, and it's a good way to lure enemies and save ammo. You just run kind of like by them so they see you, not really close to them, and they start chasing you, and you get away enough distance and hide, and most of the enemies will just turn around at some point and start walking back. Some of them, the ones that run back to their positions, like, those are the only ones that are kind of annoying because I can't really sneak up on them, but even the ones that do that will sometimes change their position when they run back, and they might change their position into one where it might become easier to sneak up on them, so I just try whatever I can to not, and I say that, and I blew a lot more ammo than I wanted to in the last section, in part 6, in that cabana section. I just... God, I can't even believe I'm playing this a second time. I mean, obviously, I'm doing this, and I wouldn't be if I wasn't broadcasting. I just felt... I guess after putting so much time into this game, and so much effort, that I would, just do a whole broadcaster playthrough of, well, not just one, but, well, I'm kind of glad that 2 of the lockers have these, because I make use of these shock bolts a lot in cases. I find them to be one of the most useful bolts, and having them, being able to pick them up is good, because it costs 4 parts to make, and it's... Yeah. I don't know if I want to take it now. There's 7 of them. Is there I'm trying to think if there's... maybe I should take... I'm gonna take them only because, the thing I hate about the lockers and him picking up things that I really wish was different was that I could choose how many I wanted to take out, because I sometimes don't want to take as much as I can if it's gonna fill my my stock, because if I happen along the way to find, for instance, if I'm filled up with shotgun ammo, and then I happen to come across shotgun ammo and I can't pick it up because I'm full, so I wish I could go to my locker, for instance, and take, if I wanted to, maybe like 2 shotgun shells, and rather than I mean, right now there isn't a lot of shotgun if I pick them up, then I still could pick up more, but there's gonna be shells lying around before those 2 mini bosses, those 2 giant brothers, and I kind of try to keep what I can in the lockers until I really need it, and I just don't want to fill my stock, especially if I know that there's going to be ammo available ahead, and I feel like it's kind of a waste taking from the locker. But if I need some ammo along the way, that's what I'm saying. I just wish I could take like a few, maybe like 2 or 3 bullets with me. 2 or 3 bullets. It does make a difference, though. I mean, one. I just recently raised the damage level of my shotgun. I mean, I've been playing through this up until like I started the second part of this just under an hour ago, and the upgrades I've made have been to the bolts
Hold on a minute.
and to
Let me climb up here and see if I can get a look ahead.
stock on my ammunition on my matches and my sprint level for abilities. I haven't upgraded until now anything on any of the weapons.
Yeah.
I upgraded the damage on the shotgun because I'm aware that some of the enemies that come up and are going to be coming up, especially in later chapters. Some of the haunted and whatnot are a little bit stronger. So
Hey, that's Kidman.
my
Who's that she's with?
my concern is more. I'm not concerned with I'm not gonna pull out my shotgun and kill an enemy in one hit. But I am concerned. I'd rather just be utilizing one bullet to knock them down, which is why I put my matches at level 5 already, because I just want to be able to knock them down and light them on fire. I don't want to waste 2 shotgun shells.
Find cover. They're shooting.
Yeah, you just gotta duck behind here, and Joseph's just gonna kill him. I really, at least in this section, at least Joseph's up high up, and he's not going to get hurt at all, and you don't have to worry about his health, which is such a relief, because in all other cases, when you see that bar on the side and you're with him, it's you'll hear Joseph complain, like, he'll go to the ground, and then, I can't do this anymore, and then, that's it, he dies, and then, it's over. Now, I'm gonna light these bodies on fire, because, it's good to always know, too. It's hard. Well, it's hard to really gauge. I can't even give like which ones are going to get up and which ones aren't, because I mean, even in this scenario, you can't really. This is why sneaking is a good idea, because if I sneak up and I can see the match appear, and you hear them scream, they would get up, and the situation I'm in right now, it's not good. I can't run in this water. I mean, it's just, I'm pressing the sprint button, I can't run, so. Now, I'm gonna hope that I'm gonna walk away. Joseph, I know he kills one of them. I'm hoping that if I go over to the side, and kind of just sit around here, that, okay, I guess he jumped off, I guess he got him. It's good to kind of, again, not waste ammo. If Joseph, I just know on this mode that, with things being harder, whether or not he's going to take down the enemy or not, was questionable. So I figure if I can just get out of this water and run to the side, and he did. He managed. He just killed both of them, so I don't have to, waste anything there. Now. This is the part, I guess, when the giants, the 2 brothers, come out, and again, nothing in this chapter that's left is this. I'm not saying that, any of this is necessarily easy, but especially if you've made it through the first 2 sections, the 2 rooms, and the section with the cabanas. These sections aren't going to be bad. It's really good that I have I have my stock raised on my shotgun, and this was another reason I didn't want to take all my shells from my locker, because if there's going to be ammo along the way to pick up, and I had taken everything from my locker, then I would have felt, I really just wasted a lot of ammo. Oh, well, that was good. He seems nice. Why don't I just stand here? And I'm gonna run away because that's what I like to do. And I don't know. I might die. There's two of them, so this is a good space to kind of hide. I see. This was the reason. What I mean about the lockers. I grabbed shock bolts from my locker, and I really wish when I went to the locker I could grab just a specific number, like I wanted to take only one or two of them. Because now there's and in this game there's not a lot of ammo lying around on this mode, and there's a shock bolt here and I can't pick it up, I guess, because I'm full, and
I can't handle them on my own.
Oh, I guess I can pick it up. That's right. I forgot. I did upgrade my bolts fully, so I don't have to craft bolts if I'm in specific situations like that, especially like those two rooms in the beginning. Sometimes it'll say you can't pick up, that's one thing to know, a bolt, because if you don't have it equipped, you can really carry 5 bolts at max, and not 4.
I can't handle them on my own.
But you won't. If I change the bolt, no, I can't give an example here because I have 5 on those. If I had 4 right on any of these, and it said 0 at the top, I wouldn't be able to even craft a bolt because it would say I was full. But you have to have it equipped, though. You'll be able to make another one, so, or pick up another one. Now I'm wondering, like, I really want Joseph to do most of the damage here, and I know he stands up there and complains I can't handle them on my own, which I don't really fully get, because
I can't handle them on my own.
There he goes. I mean, this is the one situation with Joseph where, again, you don't have to worry about his health. He's not going to get hit by them. And if you see, he's just kind of standing there casually with the gun in his hand, like, I really wish he would just kind of start, there he goes, start firing that thing. I don't know why he can't handle it by himself. It just seems like what I want to say to Joseph right now. I mean, after all of the things I've done, like, and helped you out, and, you know, the situation with Kidman and everything, can you please just do something useful for me? Like, I mean, and it's just really for this mode. I mean, he's just standing there, and he just fires periodically, like. And really all I'm going to do here is I really don't want to be blowing all my ammo. Oh, no. As long as you stay in this spot, you can see they're hitting. He's hitting his club on this, and it's kind of, you know, glitching through the wall. But, and again, one hit, I'm dead, but it's not going to come through here. The thing is, you don't want to, if you go out too far, though, off the side. One of them has that club that he throws, so see, he's gonna swing it and do it not. As long as I'm under here, I'm fine, but it's hard to even get a shot in because, which is why I really wish Joseph would do a little bit more in this situation. Come on, fire that gun. It would be... Now, one thing to note is when they go down, you can go back and collect whatever if you know, they do give you shotgun ammo in the beginning if you happen to come in here already full. there's only one bullet back there, but after the fight, even though Joseph like runs ahead, you can always go back and collect whatever, whatever's back there. There's a jar of green gel on the stairs, and you can collect. Which isn't like the situation when you get to the Sentinel there, or the dog. There are items in the area you can collect, but once you knock him down, it switches to a cutscene and you're outside the gate, and you are forced to go back in to collect Joseph's glasses, and you can try to collect some stuff, but the fact is...
I can't handle them on my own.
Yeah, Joseph. You can go back in and collect things, but the risk on this mode is that there's bear traps all over the place where the dog is at the end, and I guess it's not that much of a risk. I mean, what is the risk? You die and you could just go back in and try to collect things again. I mean, that's not really a big risk at that point, as long as it's a checkpoint, but I kind of wish that after the fight, after the dog went down, I can kind of loot the area, because I could disarm the bear traps and take trap parts too, and they don't let you do that in this particular case. In the particular case at the end of this, Joseph like fires that gun once every minute, and you know, I could definitely make this go faster and start firing heavy things at it, but this is one of those situations where I wonder. Now, I didn't raise.
Can't handle them on my own.
I'm not sure if I actually raised the damage. I know I raised it on my shotgun. I don't know if I did on the rifle or not. Or maybe I did. I definitely want to raise the damage at least 3 on the rifle, and I'm thinking of the Chapter 10 boss, but I don't want to fire a weak weapon, like, if this is at level 1, because it just sort of feels like a waste. That rifle ammo, you just don't come across it that often. And I'd rather be using it for headshots and, like, snipers and things like that, and not these 2 giants that Joseph seemed to, like, can't handle, and he just stands there casually in a suit, and he's not getting hurt. He can't get hurt. He will not get hurt in this situation. This is the one situation with Joseph that he will not get hurt. You do not have to save him when he's dying. And I just kind of wish he would save me right now.
I can't handle them on my own.
I really wish he'd stop saying that. It's like kind of like... I kind of wish if maybe the 4th or 5th time after he said it, that Sebastian like said something back to him, like yelled at him, like, or reprimanded him and said, you know, damn it, Joseph, or, you know, what do you mean you can't handle it? Just do it. That would be cool if they actually programmed it that way. That if you literally just sat here for, you know, 10 minutes, that, you know, after a certain amount of time, Sebastian actually said something back to Joseph, and at that point, Joseph just started firing the rifle, like, every, like, 5 seconds or more, and just... It would kind of be like one of those, Easter eggs or tricks to kind of get rid of the 2 bosses without having to do anything. I don't mind, like, using the handgun ammo, because the handgun ammo is going to be lying around a lot more than other ammo, and I really don't use it. And obviously you just saw a club, and that's just kind of glitching through the wall. Even though it is doing that, it's not going to hit me while I'm in here, but the only thing that's problematic here is that when you come out, you know, the one guy has the club, and while he's not holding it, because he kind of sort of throws it, and then just... These enemies are sort of, I don't know. They're kind of slow, and they don't know... I mean, But I don't know why I say they're sort of slow. Actually, they're pretty quick, considering their size, but still, Joseph seems to be a hell of a lot slower than them. Oh my god. You can see that thing. It's really nothing to be afraid of. I mean, it's just gonna keep glitching. Every time they see me, they'll just come over here, and, like, then he drops the club, then he picks it up, and then, I don't know, it's sort of... I think, if I do crawl out of the space, and attract them over to me, it might, when I do that, I don't know, maybe it makes Joseph fire, or increases the chances of it when they come towards me. Maybe it does. He just fired the gun. If I can get them to just maybe lure them over here. I don't know, maybe Joseph has a problem if they're standing, like, I guess, too close to the wall. I don't know. I can't even, like, I don't have much time even when I leave this space to, like, pull out a gun. And really, I don't want to leave this space because, they are... I mean, everything is quicker on this mode. Every enemy's quicker on this mode, but, I don't know why they're so angry anyway. I mean, I didn't do anything. I love how this enemy just kind of just drops the club, like, every now and then just walks away from it, and then... Again, Joseph's just standing there. They can't grab him, and Joseph just sort of... It looks like he's... I don't know what he's doing. I'm kind of looking at him like he gets, I don't know what the word is. It just looks like his brain is fried right now, and he doesn't. It just, and then every once in a while he wakes up and just fires that gun. I'm gonna try to get them over here again and see if Joseph will fire the gun if they start walking towards me. And he did. He fired the gun. He fired it twice. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of lure them over to this direction and see if Joseph keeps firing, and try really not to get hit because. They're a little bit quicker than it seems. I mean, they could literally, I could just mess up here and just come out and... Alright, one of them's down. So, and I've only used some handgun ammo, which is good. The only problem with this situation now is that when the one brother goes down, the other one gets angry, and, now, really, actually, it's kind of hard to come out and even fire at this one. So, I'm... Oh my god.
I can't handle them on my own.
Joseph, I really wish they changed the dialogue. There is no them anymore. There's only one of them. I kind of wish too that the enemy didn't follow me. It seems like he knows which side I'm on, even though I'm crawling through here. I always seem to have a problem too looking from the left. I don't know if anybody else seems to have this problem. Maybe it's just me, but I seem to do better when I'm on... When I'm facing this way, I can look... I'm looking around the corner so I can see him, and I can't seem to get the same angle. Well, I guess...
I can't handle them on my own.
So visually, I can't... See, this is what I just walk back and forth here, and I don't know how this guy knows which side I'm on. That's what kind of bothers me. I'm trying to like apply a little stealth here, and He just knows. He knows where I am. And I think this applies on every mode, because after one brother goes down, the other one gets angry, and funny thing is, I don't know why he's angry at me. It's, why don't you just get angry at Joseph, because Joseph's the one who, despite the fact he keeps complaining and saying he can't handle it, he seemed to handle the one guy, so... AKUMU mode, it's the highest level of difficulty on this game. This is what I'm playing on. There's actually a trophy for it, and it's required to get the platinum. And in all honesty, it's pretty brutal. You can't get hit once while playing this. One hit and from anything, and you're dead. Now, obviously, your lives are infinite. You don't have like 5 lives and you have to start over from chapter 1, but the checkpoints can become brutal in some places. You know, if you've managed to stealth your way through a situation, or and you wind up dying because an enemy, you know, basically just sat up and basically touched your leg, you can die. That's how. And when you get stuck in situations on this mode where there's enemies all around you, especially like the beginning of this chapter when you're stuck in the 2 rooms, which I keep saying, to me, that's at the top of my list for the most terrible situation that you can get into in this mode. It's the first time I played through this, I was in those 2 rooms for about 4 or 5 hours before I could beat the section. And I died about 80 or 90, well, like going higher, and it's probably 70, I don't know, 60 to 90. I can't even, I lost count, because sometimes I would just die right when the screen loaded. Because a guy, they start you off. And in every mode you play, the checkpoints are the same, but where they start you in that particular section and playing on this mode is terrible, because if you can recall, if you've played it on survival or any mode, when they start you off in that room and Joseph has to open the doors, there's 2 enemies right in front of you, and one of them has an axe in their hand. Sometimes they lunge at you, and sometimes they throw the axe, and if they throw the axe, you have like a fraction of a second to dodge it, and that's not the worst part. The enemies are literally twice as fast on this mode. So you can have your sprint level all the way up. They can literally just chase you around that cramped room, and you don't even have time to even turn around and fire the gun. If you go in there and you don't have certain things like, you know, in your slots, you're on your first play. What mode are you playing on? No, not necessarily. I've actually done this broadcast from chapter 1. I'm playing on this mode, and this is my second time playing through. I just have all of this archived on Twitch. I'll probably export it to YouTube, because after 2 weeks it goes off the archive, but the thing is, what I recommend, well, if you're doing a first playthrough right now, what are you doing it on survival mode? I mean, you can't even unlock AKUMU mode unless you play it on survival. If you play it on casual, you only unlock nightmare mode. Nightmare's the 3rd level of difficulty, and that's the only one I haven't played on. Yeah, survival. Survival and casual are the only 2 available if you've started playing the game. There's 2 other levels of difficulty, and I haven't played it on nightmare mode. I can't believe, did Joseph seriously just fire a bullet and it took him like 5 minutes? I can't even come out here because this guy is just out. The thing that bothers me about this is that he seems to know where I am, and I can't. All right, now he's running at the wall. So, so you're playing on survival, and when you're playing through the mode in general,
I can't handle them on my own.
if you want to platinum, now I haven't played thousands of games, to be honest with you. So I would think one of the reasons I'm broadcasting because I'm not like the greatest expert in the world. So I'm not here trying to, you know. If I die, I die. I broadcast it. I mean, I've died yesterday in the 2 rooms today. When I was broadcasting, I died about 20 or 30 times. And the thing is, you play through survival. What I did. Some people, what they recommend to do if you want to get the trophies is to go play through survival and don't upgrade anything, because that way you'll get the is what it is trophy. Now, which is that you can only get that trophy by not upgrading anything. I mean, you can collect all the green gel and do the upgrades afterward, but see, I didn't do that though. When I played the game, I didn't really. When I started playing the game, I just sort of wanted to play it, and I was just collecting things on my own, and I was doing upgrades and just trying to play the game and kind of have fun with it. I really wasn't. So, in order for me, I have the platinum on this. I had to actually play it 4 times instead of 3. I had to, because there's a trophy also for beating the game in under 5 hours. And the best way to do that is to play on New Game Plus on really the easiest mode. And
I can't handle them on my own.
I don't know how to shoot this guy right now, and I'm sort of. He's way too fast. If I get out of here, I can get hit, and this will all be for a waste because one of them is dead, and Joseph's. He can't have much health left. This guy. If I can get a few shots in, it would be nice, but I can't fire my gun from here. I just wish in certain situations where, you know, I wish there was more stealth here. Like the enemy didn't know which side I was on and whatnot, because I could kind of just sneak around and do something, but he just knows where I am, like he could see me through the wall. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I just played and kind of enjoyed it the first time, but the problem is that with trophies, I mean, for this one,
I can't handle them on my own.
all right, I'll see you later. I mean, I'm just going through this, like, also, you know, I'm going through the whole game on AKUMU broadcasting this, so I'll be playing this for the next few days, so yeah, I would just play on survival and enjoy it as much as you can, because I don't know.
I can't handle them on my own.
Or you could try to play without upgrading. Alright, you too. God, I'm never gonna get out of here, am I? I just really do not want to step out of here and get hit. That will severely frustrate me right now if I die, because death right now means going back to the last checkpoint and having to do this over again. And on any other mode, it's not a big deal. I mean, because what, you can get hit, they're not going to be as fast, and it's not. You know, there's a lot more ammo lying around, so I can't really. It's hard to get a shot in because they are really much faster on this mode. Every enemy is. And it just seemed like Joseph stopped firing the gun right after the first brother died. He just doesn't even seem to fire the gun anymore, and it's at the worst possible moment because now this guy's raging all over the place. And he's coming after me as if, like, I killed his brother. You know, maybe I fired a few bullets and his brother's not happy. I don't know, but, like, it's Joseph, the one who took him down. I don't know why he's so angry at me, and I don't know how he could see me through the wall. So I kind of And I cannot get a good angle from when I go on this side. I can't get an angle. I can't see anything, really. So I don't know if it's me. I seem to always have a problem. Like the only thing I could think of, and I'm actually just thought of this right now, why I don't know, maybe it's because the right side of my TV screen, like there's a little thing, because when I'm broadcasting so I can see the messages, you know, it's over there, but I figured if that's the case, that would, I don't know, that can't be the case. No, that's not it, because the screen's a little smaller and the black bars are up there. I think I always have a problem with this. I can't get the angle I want on this side. Like here I can see great, like around the corner. Oh, thank you.
Shit. Dead end.
I'll look for another route. Let's meet up by the horse statue there.
Oh, you know what, honestly, I have nothing to complain about, because really when you look at that whole situation, the best part is that I just fired a few handgun bullets. I didn't lose anything in that process. Except the match, and I honestly, I didn't do that on purpose. I have this habit, I do this accidentally all the time. You know, that's one little tip. Because some buttons do the same thing. Usually, I will push the circle button to, like, put my weapon away, and, even when I don't have the weapon equipped, I just have this habit, I guess, of hitting it, and because he'll put it away automatically, and I believe he does. Yeah, if you just stand here, I don't know, maybe he doesn't. The thing is, I don't like seeing those dots on the screen if I'm not firing anything, and if he has his gun away, and they're still on the screen, I don't know. I hit that button, and the problem is the circle button is the same button that lights a match. So if I'm above a body, and I try to put my weapon away, he lights a match instead. And that happens, you know, in other cases too. The worst is, though, in the two rooms in the beginning of this. Like, if you're trying to run around the room, the worst thing is there's a table on one side. Now, it has 2 items on it, but if you're trying to get away, and really, they're just crazy. The speed of the enemies, they're just running after you in this cramped room, and if you try to jump over the table and get away, what he'll do instead is grab the item on the table. If the items are still on the table, he'll do that first before jumping over the table. So at that moment, you're pretty much dead. If you didn't, I mean. Oh, there it is. Okay. You can see this wall's a little cracky. There's nothing really you can do here and break this, but the reason it's like that is because there's an alternative in this situation about how this could go out. If you, in the beginning of this, now I don't recommend this on this mode, but if you take out the first brother while when he first comes out right here, which is possible, like with a stronger weapon, especially if you're playing on New Game Plus. I mean, if you blow him with the rocket launcher like twice, the other brother will not long after just smash through this wall, and he'll just start running at you. Which, if you have a shock bolt and put on the ground, he'll just run into that and get electrocuted, and meanwhile you can just blow him away. But that's the alternative scenario here. What I just did took a long time, but then actually, really what I should say is what I didn't do. And that's good. There's 2 explosive bolts I just picked up because I really don't have now a lot to... Well, I have 11 trap parts. That might even seem like a lot, but that's probably because I have 8 parts because I decided to disarm some motion sensor bombs on the last section, which is a real pain because there's no save room, and I've went over this kind of before. I don't want to really go too much into it until I get to maybe chapter 7, because that's a really good place maybe to collect some more things, especially after getting out of this damn chapter, because this chapter's long and it's painful, and it might not seem like this because I'm really at a point at this chapter where it's not as bad. It kind of starts off at it, and then you get into another situation. It's not as bad, but it's kind of really difficult still. And then you start coming into these sections, and this really wasn't that bad, and it kind of descends. Really, I would say the level of frustration starts the moment you get with Joseph.
Wait,
on chapter 5.
Something about a horse in that house back there. Let me see what I wrote.
And it peaks at the beginning of this chapter, and it's just it's kind of like non-stop, and
I guess we go down.
I guess so.
and I keep saying, really, if you can get through those 2 rooms and like not break the television set in the process. You could pretty much, at least from what I believe, you can get through the game on this mode. And really getting through those 2 rooms isn't really a matter of like, can and can't. It's really a matter of just, even if you're dying over and over again, like it's a matter of persistence. I mean, there's a lot of randomness that goes on, and there's no predictability. The enemies will sometimes enemies will spawn. I mean, there's some predictability, but especially in the bottom room when they start coming through the ceiling, and it's hard to. Sometimes more enemies appear, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they attack Joseph, sometimes they don't, and it's you can wind up literally just dying over and over and over and over and over and over again, and it's just really it's not a fun experience. And that's the thing, though. If you really want to, if somebody's really wants to platinum this game, they have to beat it on this mode. And if this wasn't a required trophy to get the platinum, it would be much easier to get a platinum in this game. It's because of this particular trophy alone makes getting the platinum like extremely. I don't know what the best word to use is. I like to just use the word kind of like painful sometimes, because this can really become like. I mean, I'm conscious that I'm broadcasting, so I'm not really in those sections right now that are extremely frustrating. So when I played through this the first time, though, like, I'm just playing, and I just literally would start screaming, like, at the TV, and I just
move lately?
I just wanted to throw the controller at the time. I mean, I was just. I kind of wonder when I see this, like, why. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like there's somebody in there that's not, like, one of the haunted, and why we don't help this guy out of the bag. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking, like, you just kind of walk by and it's like, oh, there's somebody in there. Like, why don't we help him? Now, if I punch this, he just stops. It's kind of like I just killed someone. It's not, I don't know. It seems like there was just a person just, like, in there, not really one of the regular enemies, an alter ego or a haunted. That just seemed like there was a guy in there. Why don't we help him? It kind of gets to me. I don't know. It really doesn't. I just don't... I don't understand. Like... I mean, you think about it like the jobs, like the characters. I mean, Joseph's a detective. What am I? I'm also a detective or a cop. I mean, you would think we'd, if there's a person in a bag squealing, that we would kind of try to help, but I guess we don't care. I don't know. The reason I'm standing here is because one of these, this is the last key in the chapter, so. Again, this isn't about collecting keys really for the trophy, it's just for opening up all the lockers, which incidentally will give you the trophy, but the key, the statue, is just right there. You could see it comes on this bag. I really would like to punch it off. Good. I don't like wasting bullets in any case when I don't have to. I mean, and some of the statues really have to be shot. Some of them even with a sniper rifle. I don't even see... Some of the statues can be found, you know...
What do you make of this writing?
You're carefully...
Doesn't mean anything to me. Should it?
Looking, but some of
something down earlier.
Some of the statues are in very high places or weird places. Like, I don't see why I would... You know, like I said, when I was in the
sacrifices need to be lowered onto the proper altars.
The one section with the 4 cabanas that you have to, you know, snipe the people, and I just was wondering, like, there's a statue like way high up and on top of a building. You really have to take out your sniper rifle to even see it, and I don't know why I mean, I guess if it just seems more like I would accidentally like find it if I was really looking for it. I mean, I just don't see why I would pull out my sniper and look up that high. And there's another case in chapter 11 where there's a statue, you know, way up high on the end of a crane, and it's way up high. Like, I don't know why you would look there. It doesn't seem like a place you would just pull out your sniper and look. I don't know. This isn't really complicated, but I mean, you just pull all the levers. That's really not why. I mean, that's how the symbols, like, what you would do, because there is no lever here, and you know, you could see there's a marking through it, and that's down. So. But there's a marking through this one too, so this has to be down. And it's not safe to go through there. Because there's a cross through this one, so this goes down. And it basically, all this means is, in the end, you just wind up having to pull all 3 of them, really, because the last one, there's no marking through it, so that means, and it's down, so that means it shouldn't be down. Really, you're not. It's hard to die here because, like, he's gonna say something.
I heard something.
I mean, if you don't hear him say, "I heard something," or you can actually hear a click somewhere, then you just don't run through here, because all those spikes will come out and that's it. But it's not really a big deal. I mean, again, you die, you're not gonna be penalized, and it's not like minus 1,000 green gel, or, you know, you only have 5 lives left, but it's just kind of... there's nothing in here, I guess, except for that jar. So that fight with the sentinel or the dog is coming up now. And again, on this mode, you can't get hit once, and which really, in the case of bosses, it doesn't. Sometimes I don't know. When I beat the game on survival, like, I would think to myself, wait, playing on this mode, I would think the boss fights would be the worst, but really it's being in rooms when you're filled with enemies that's really usually the hardest parts. Because in some of the boss fights, even playing on the easiest mode, there's like, for instance, the Chapter 10 boss, when he turns purple, no matter what mode you're playing on, if he gets you, it's a one-hit kill. So you just kind of get... So really, getting a one-hit kill by anything on this mode, I mean, a boss just really isn't... It's not that surprising. I mean, it happens on regular modes. Syringe, which does nothing. The only problem with this fight on this mode is, again, that unlike survival, I don't think survival has this. Basically, there's situations in this mode where there's things that are changed and added to the environment, and then there's things that are absent. There's a lot more red barrels that are absent on this mode, and which means there's things you can't take advantage of and fire at to blow up things. And then there are added things, like there's extra traps. So when you get to this fight with the dog, there's bear traps on the ground, and which makes running around a little a pain. And you don't... I guess I'm gonna probably try a few different things here, because one thing you can do is always place a shock bolt in front of you after you dodge him in the beginning, and sort of just stand in one place and he'll run into the bolt, and then throw some explosives. But I always usually like to set things in preparation if I know I'm going to get stuck in a situation, because switching during something is really the worst part to switch still is the two rooms. I mean, you don't really have time to even go to your inventory and switch the slots, and you get the checkpoint you're stuck at. Really, it starts you off right in front of an enemy that's going to either throw an axe at you or lunge at you. You can't really just go to the inventory and do anything. This enemy, though, is kind of like... Another thing is that if you, when he's charging directly at you, if you could just shoot him in the face with a shotgun, I think it probably will stun him or kind of paralyze him or put him down for, like, a few seconds. At which point it might be then good to maybe hit him with the bolt, because that way you get a bullet in at the same time and do extra damage. I'm trying to think what... I mean, again, the truth is this broadcast is making a perfect video, and I don't really... I kind of expect on this mode to die, considering, like, it's just a one-hit kill, and Come on, Joseph. So maybe I'll just try to hit him in the face with the shotgun first and see, and then just kind of go from there. But I wouldn't be surprised if I run into a bear trap, or even... The one thing I don't like, and the one thing about this fight that's different from other ones, is that once you knock him down, it goes directly to a cutscene, and you know, it's not like you can run around afterward and collect things. Now, you do have to go back into the place to collect Joseph's glasses, which is a pain, and at that point, maybe you could... I might try to collect something if, like, I think there's shotgun bullets somewhere, but, trying to run around and collect stuff, and this enemy is extremely fast, and normally, if there weren't bear traps, it would be much easier to just kind of run around, but It's easy to just run into a trap. And one thing I hate is that I really wish I could loot the area after we went down and it didn't go to a cutscene, because I would disarm all the bear traps and take the trap
Can you get
parts.
it open?
See, I mean, it's not really surprising, like, when you get to a boss to think to yourself, oh my god, it's like one hit, one kill, but the thing is that the traps on the ground make it terrible, because that's instant death, and I don't, Alright, well, honestly, I don't even know what happened there. It seemed like he ran to the side, and I don't know, I don't know how I got hit, but I got hit, and that's it. You get hit, that's it. And I don't know how, sometimes there are cases where I don't understand how I got hit, and well, playing on another mode, I mean, if he rams into you, I imagine that, I don't know, you might die in one hit anyway. I'm not sure though. I kind of forget survival mode. On casual, I'm even thinking you might die. I don't know. It's not that's the problem. I'm not really moving that much because I'm pretty much aware that there's. At least there's a kind of a pattern here, but I'm kind of concerned. See? What I did right there was just that's the bear traps in the area. I just ran over one. It's hard to kind of, you know, in another mode that the bear traps won't be there, so it would have been easier for me. I was just gonna run like to the fence. And that just didn't work out. I gotta plan this out better. I don't know where it is. Oh, come on, I did see it. Honestly, I saw it right there. And, I don't know, I don't feel like I even pushed the thing to move forward. What I want to do is run around it and run towards, I don't know, there's one one gate that has, oh no, alright, well, that was bad. That was just, bad timing. I mean, in every mode, it doesn't matter. It always starts off this way, and you just have to run off to the right side. It doesn't really, that doesn't change. See, this has predictability to it. Being in the two rooms in the beginning of the chapter, really, I can't, there's not a lot of, there's certain circumstances in the first room that are predictable, but I can't think of anything in the second room, and I don't, even there's a high level of randomness in the first room, so. I'm a little concerned right now, because I really hope, alright, he doesn't hit me good. Isn't there shotgun shells here? I don't know where he is. Okay. Damn it, I missed. It seems to be a good way to go, though. You gotta shoot him. I mean, you could put the bolt on the ground and just kind of let him hit the bolt, and then maybe throw an explosive or something. But getting that shotgun hit in the face, to down him, like, as far as damage is I think that's probably pretty... It seems kind of key on this. I don't know. I would say with the boss on Chapter 10, the sniper rifle, you gotta hit that purple... There's a specific spot in the purple on the eye. If you hit that... You gotta be kidding me. That was... I heard that snap. I actually backed up into a bear trap right there. So... So, for anyone in here, one good thing about the garage boss in Chapter 10 is that there's not bear traps lying around the garage. So... What... Now this could become a case where I'm die over and over, but honestly, you can tell this isn't. I don't know. Maybe experiencing the frustration of like some of the other circumstances in Chapter 5 and in the beginning of this chapter. This really isn't really that bad, but Okay, well, he ran off. It seems like he came from a different direction that time. I really wasn't... Damn. I don't know. I felt like I blasted him right in the face right there, and that didn't do anything. I don't know. I don't know if that's happened again. I don't know if my timing's off or what I'm doing, but I feel like I'm doing the same thing I've been doing. I don't know. Alright, that kind of bothers me now. I don't know. You better go down this time. I'm really getting... That's the third time in a row, like... Yeah, it seems like right when I started this off, I was doing fine in the beginning. I mean, I would just shoot him directly in the face and he would fall down, and now it's like I'm shooting him and nothing's happening. I don't know. I'm kind of... Come on. Alright. You see the inventory coming on the screen like that? That's me accidentally pressing down on the right stick when I'm trying to use it to look. I've done that like a couple of times, and it's frustrating. I don't know. Shit. On. I can't seem to hit him in the face, I guess. I'm missing his directly on the face. That's just... And I keep accidentally now hitting the right stick down for the inventory. Was maybe I was standing in a better place before? I don't know. Maybe I should go farther back. This isn't gonna help me. I keep this... I think that's the third or fourth time I've actually keep seeing the inventory flash on the screen. Like, I keep hitting that button accidentally, and... It's probably... Because I'm trying to look and turn the camera, and I don't understand what I really, now I'm going to get frustrated, because I was doing this, like, in the beginning pretty well, actually, the right way, it seemed, and now I'm really just messing up constantly, and this is really now getting frustrating, because I know I'm hitting him every time, but I'm just... So I come into this fight with this creature, and the first thing I do is shoot him with the shotgun, and he goes down. And I've done that a few times in the beginning, and now it just seems I'm constantly dying. I don't even know what I'm doing differently. You know, this happened to me yesterday, actually. Sorry. Yesterday, I got through the Kidman section in Chapter 5, finally. I wasn't really thinking about the last part of the chapter, where you have to fight Laura in the room and you know, draw her into the furnace and light bodies and stuff, and I just wasn't thinking to myself that was going to be a problem, and I had a problem with the timing for a while on lighting the bodies, and I can't seem to get this right at all, and I was doing fine in the beginning, and I feel like I'm just hitting him in the face every time now. This is just for now kind of getting to me a little frustrating, because I feel like I'm, you know, he was going down right away in the beginning, and now he's not even. Oh my God. You know, I just want this I just want this damn chapter to end. No, it's honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing wrong, to tell you the truth, because I was doing it perfectly fine at the start of this. I'd knock him down when I hit him with the shotgun, and he'd kind of get a little, like, he'd fall to the ground, and like, then I'd just kind of shock him and then bolt him with an explosive, and he's not even falling to the ground anymore. This is a little bit like, now I tried to do it. I shot it this time a little bit. When he was a little bit farther away, because maybe I thought he was getting too close to me. Now, and this is starting to feel like a little bit inconsistent. I don't, unless my timing is just really, really off here, and I don't understand, really. I just don't get it. I mean, it kind of feels like I'm not gonna be able to do this again. Well, I was able to do it perfectly, again, fine before, and I know I'm going all the way back here because I guess, I don't know, maybe I need more time. I'm hitting him directly in the face, like I did before. This isn't working anymore. It's like, it was working fine. This is a little Alright, this is like getting to be kind of frustrating, really. Because I really don't now feel like I'm really doing, you know, I'm not, how, am I really doing this like that wrong? Like finally, okay. Yeah, I managed to dodge him because I could hear him. I dodged him just based on hearing, and I wanted to just throw a bolt on the ground, and I didn't, just couldn't do it. I'm really getting sick of of hitting that inventory screen up. This is just really like, this is really kind of like what happened last night to me, like at the end of chapter 5, when I just kept dying over and over again, and it was kind of, and I was a little confused, and I know my timing was off. Eventually I got the timing so well with the bodies when Laura was coming out of them that I was like, I lit 4 bodies in a row. I lit her on fire 4 times in a row on the bodies. But, this is just odd because when I started off, I felt like I was doing a lot better, and then I suddenly, like, now I'm only, like, I consistently just failing. And I just don't understand. Maybe I do. I mean, I have to be like really exact and really hit him directly in the face. I guess I'm not. And I guess maybe you know, I gotta go farther back. I guess I don't know, because I need more time to like see where he's coming from. All right, to me, that was a direct hit right in the face, and I mean, can anyone discern the difference between what I've done before and what I just did right there, and why the dog did not go down to the ground and why he did the other time? I don't really know what. Really? This is kind of starting to frustrate me, like, I'm not going to say more than those 2 rooms, but in a way, I expected the 2 rooms to be extremely frustrating. I don't expect this to be that bad. And the thing that's bothering me about this is that I'm just feeling like, and this is just my experience and what I'm feeling right now, that there's a level of inconsistency here, because I'm not even stepping on traps and whatever, and I feel like I'm just directly hitting him, and it doesn't even matter. Sometimes he's gonna go down. He went down there, and I don't know. Alright, that pisses me off. That's just wrong, really, because I ran off to the side, and Honestly, to me, that just seemed to just jump right to a cutscene.